Okay, now that we have the date parsing working properly, I think it's time to do decimal value parsing. So in our test.journal, currently all our monetary values are just integers. So let's add some decimal points and put a negative sign on this one. And let's see what happens when we run our current program on it. In theory, it shouldn't work. And in fact, it does for some reason, so something's broken right now. Let's go see why it's broken. So I think this is the code that that parses the monetary value. And so we have while is digit. Okay. What happens if we print out the currency as well? Actually, wait, that's a posting lines thing, so I'll just take the first line and print out the currency on it. Something like that. Keep forgetting I can just type make now, which is much more convenient. Interesting. Okay, let's get rid of this. So okay, when we have the decimal, it thinks there's just one line for some reason. Let's see. To get rid of white space. So it would seem that the one line that is getting is this line and not this line. But we can check that by printing. Actually, let's just add a loop here to print out all the posting lines. And we'll print out we'll just print out the name of the account, I guess. I think that should do it. No. There we go. Okay, so we get a seg fault immediately. Okay. How to debug this? What other entries do we have? maybe we can try print out the pointer instead. Even the pointer. So it looks like oh. Okay, yeah, I think that might be our issue. There we go. So we were just leaving the actual field in the posting struct empty. So now we can try to print out the string. And so it gets the account. What does it have for the value? Okay, what does it have for the currency? Oh, oops. These, it's null. Let's see. Well, I guess, actually no, this kind of makes sense, because once we run out of digits to parse, it just hits the decimal point, which we don't handle, and then eats the white space before the decimal point. There is none, and then it just takes the rest of the buffer as currency, but the decimal point is not an alpha value, so it doesn't actually take anything. So if we had like do that, then we should get a crash. I'll add assert in because it's useful, and we should probably be asserting things throughout the code anyway. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're fine. It's just the fact that we haven't dealt with the decimal value. So let's add let's make a struct up here to store decimal values. And we'll have a bool neg for negative. Have an unsigned long for the significand, and an unsigned int for the places. Might change that later. Change the types, I'm not sure. But that'll do for now. And we can come down here and say if buff equals minus, we'll make an empty struct up here. We'll initialize it to 0. If buff equals minus, then val.neg equals 1. It is negative, in fact. We can do buff plus plus, length minus minus. And after that, out of Boolean. Do this, so it'll continue if we get a decimal point, and if we have buff equals the decimal point, we want to set this half point flag to true, and continue after incrementing the buffer. Oops. On this before the continue, and we also want to leave it down here. And then we can do if have point val dot places. That's what we called it. Yeah. We increment the number of decimal places that we have, because once we encounter a point, everything after the decimal point is a decimal place. And if we already have a decimal point, then we're gonna go ahead and break, because a decimal number can't have two decimal points. If we encounter another one, that has to be the end of the number. And then yeah, I think we need to add some logic down here to make sure that our currency value doesn't get messed up, because like an extra decimal point sneaks in. So we should probably just error out in this case. But let's go ahead and test this. Oh, yeah, we don't have that anymore, so, and we also need to check for overflow. No member named. Oh, I didn't name it val, did I? I named it sig. And then we can actually do a struct decimal here. We have to move this above that now. 21. How do we deal with this? Maybe we'll just have a do that, and then we don't even have to initialize these. there's probably going to be another as value equals true. Okay, that's all messed up now. That value is wrong. Let's figure out why. Well, first of all, let's print out actually, I think we can get rid of, I'll just make this a normal long, and we don't need a neg, we don't need to signal that it's a negative in the struct itself. We have to get rid of this now. Okay. Or is that happening? So we're getting the right sig here. Oh, it's probably because we are treating that as a integer. Yeah, so we get the right sig now. And we'll print out the number of decimal places as well. Yep, we have 2 decimal places. So oh, and of course we lose the information about it being negative now because we're not setting it. So up here, yeah, we'll just add a boolean. And if neg val dot sig equals minus val dot sig, and that should be sufficient to give us negatives. And we can check that. Yep, so we have negatives, and I think that I think parsing is actually done now. So yeah, let's make our commit. And I think that'll be the end of the video.